Oh, hello, everyone. You caught my husband again. Right in time to go live. He's drinking.
Well, I had to get me a shot.
Oh my God.
That moonshine worked better.
Ah, every
Well,
time.
don't worry about it. It's all that they know. They do that too. They drink out of cups too, though.
Oh my
Everybody don't drink out of a
God.
bucket like you do.
Yeah, but when you go live, I would like for you to be watching
But
like
I'm
we're.
watching it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
See, we fussed this morning. First thing.
Yeah, we're fussing. We're
I'm
not
gonna have
fussing.
to
Let me
tighten up
remove
on
my
her.
banners. Good morning to you guys. And I'm glad you're here with us today. And let us know if you're hearing and seeing us clearly. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I'm trying to think for a minute. All right, let's see who's here. Let's see who the early bird is. James Dixon is the early bird today. And then my sissy and brother-in-law. Hey, y'all. Y'all came in early. Y'all came in early. James was here at 9:48, and you and sister and brother-in-law came in at 9:48. And you guys came on in here. Hey, Kim. Sinette came in from Denmark at 9:58 this morning. What time is it in Denmark, Sinette? Let me know. And Deb, you guys came on in here. I'm glad you guys came in
Yeah,
today.
y'all rolling today.
And let's see who else. There's Joe. Hey, Joe.
Joel Jr.
Morgan. Adele. Hey, sweetie. And there's Jill. Hey, Jill. And Dee Dee and George. And here comes Vern. Tell Johnny hello, sweetie. Tell him
Yeah,
tell him hello. Glad everything's working out
working
for you
out.
guys.
Yeah,
And Sadie, good morning to you. And
Sadie,
Pat and Edith Brown.
Edith Brown. Look at y'all on the
Brother
ball.
Kessler.
Y'all, Mr.
And there's
Kelly, I tell you, boy.
KK. It's Kelly.
Okay, appreciate you coming over yesterday, Mr. K.
Thank you, sis. She said we're hearing and seeing good. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
There's Brother
Brother
Blue.
Blue, good to see
Hope you
you.
and the family are doing well.
Oh, y'all say you doing okay.
16 o'clock. What's 16 o'clock? We don't say 16 o'clock. So what's 16 o'clock, Annette? Let us know. Is afternoon there? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Tanita. Tell Mom hello.
Tanita, good to see you, girl.
And she's in Mexico.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Mexico are you in, baby? we familiar with Albuquerque. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That's New Mexico. She's in Mexico.
Oh yeah, you over there where the Columbus discovered America people.
So Sonette says it's 4 in the afternoon in Denmark.
Oh shucks, girl, that's good. How's the weather there?
What time is it in Mexico?
Oh yeah, that's good.
Hello, Apostle Norman.
Norman J.
And then there's Vincent Kelly. Vincent Kelly's 3 hours behind us, so he has to get up with the chickens to get us.
You boys are really strong today. Are you girls out there? I tell you, we ought to just stop and ask the boss.
He said 1600 is 4 p.m. Well, you knew that, huh? Smart dude. That's a smart dude.
Okay.
Jose de Cabo. That's what she is.
I never heard of that. Wait, I'm familiar with that.
She said it's 8 in the morning there.
Wow, you early.
Yeah. Good morning, Lady Gwen.
I used to order a lot of guitars from out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And hello, Sandra. Sinette, we figured it out. Thank you, darling.
Sandra, I hope little baby girl doing okay over there.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about her a lot.
Yeah, we have. And we have to report that Vern and Johnny is having more positive results now. He's doing better, and hopefully we'll be able to go home next week. And so we're just thanking God for that, seeing them through that. And let's see here. And Gwen sending us love. Hey, thank you, darling. Thank you so much.
Lady Gwen.
Thank you so much. Well, listen, I don't know if some of you guys, there's Pearl just came in. Good morning, Pearl. I started wearing my t-shirt this morning.
Miss Pearl, I like to have one on a 4XX or 3X.
Well, I keep saying I'm going to get with Pearl because some others expressed the desire for that.
Before it get too cold.
Shirts.
Then we have to get you to order some with long sleeves.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Anywho. Thank you
Hey,
guys for being with us today. Baby girl's
man,
down
I
here
tell
eating
you
her
too. Y'all,
treats and
I got
she's
a church full, house full of people on here today.
yeah, you do, don't you?
Y'all don't mess
And
around.
I've
I can
been
tell you
looking
that.
at the Pure Presence conference most of the weekend, and I'm glad you guys came in. Those of you who could have been there and you're here with us, thank you so much. Let's do something. If you can, so I know some of you may be moving around or doing whatever. If you're not busy and you're able to be still for a little bit, I want to do this. Not an affirmation, but our meditation this morning, streaming consciousness meditation. Let me see if I can get that up here for you. And I want you to just get still, get quiet if you can. And you might want to just close your eyes. You don't have to really repeat this. Just let me say it, and you can let it resonate with you. Close your eyes and just center in to where all of goodness and all of God is right there inside yourself. And I want you to take a deep breath and just listen to me. Just relax. Just relax and let everything go for a moment. You don't need anything right now. Can you unplug the phone, honey? I forgot all about it. Pardon us, we didn't unplug the phone. And I don't.
Every time I come on, you. That's what you said.
We didn't unplug the phone, so I need to make sure that's done before we start. In the meantime, good morning, Phyllis and Edward. Good morning, Noel and Diaculin. Good morning. Now, are you in here? Okay.
I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll do it again. Now let's make sure that we're still. Just close your eyes if you can. All right, here we go. I am a portal of consciousness streaming down through the crown chakra into this form. I am a continuous stream, never static, a download from higher dimensions. It is what I am. I am a light stream blowing through this mortal flesh, an immortal essence, life being. As I flow into this body, I am experienced as an individual through writings, sayings, laughter, facial expressions, thoughts, and feelings. Yet there is no person here that possesses these qualities. For I am purely a stream of unconditioned consciousness. There is, in fact, no person here to attract or to project, just a stream, a flow of pure light and awareness. I am the one who looks for another and finds itself. As this stream of unconditioned consciousness, I am the carrier of revelations and insights. This is a clear indicator of what I truly am. I stream through this mind and body until such time as this mind and body no longer functions. I appear to others as conditioned awareness, leaving the impression of a person that others think I am. That which is left after this body dies will be evidence that this portal was once open and I flowed into this earth existence. Premeditation and thinking only serve to veil my essence. I, as the flow, never cease, and I am often thought to be solid matter. Others looking on may think that everything originates from me as a person, but there is no person to claim what comes forth as the stream. The stream is pure and gentle and free and clear. I am pure, gentle, free, and clear. It has no shape, but it can appear to take shape. I have no shape, but I appear as a shape. What I truly am is veiled by my own appearing. This unconditioned consciousness is the only reality. I am a streaming consciousness. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you guys. Oliver just came in. Ollie, thank you guys for coming in.
Oh, Ollie,
Thank you.
I wonder you got your shotgun buddy sitting beside you today.
They've been working with the conference, the Peer Presence Conference. I've been watching.
Yolanda, she's a shotgun girl, man. She makes sure everything is a straight and narrow path. You have the shotgun girl.
And there's Sister Chris. Good morning, Christine, darling. Christine. Good morning. We got your card. Thank you. And your love gift. Thank you so much. David Singleton, there's Majora, your sweetheart.
Majora, just mentioned you. I wonder how you doing, girl. It's good to know you're doing okay.
Yes.
Hot dog.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I hope that resonated with you, that I just did. It does with me. It feels good to know that we are not persons trying to become more, but we are that streaming consciousness. And that streaming consciousness, we both know, we all know, is what God is. I heard one of the teachers say last night in the conference that God created, God did not think to create, but God became whatever it was, instead of thinking about creating something outside of itself. It cannot do that. But it actually becomes that thing that's created.
That's the beingness.
That is what God, or universal intelligence, supreme source, all of you, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, that's what it is. It becomes whatever is created. It cannot create anything outside of itself.
And I run across information about Moses and the burning bush. And when Moses he asked the question, who can I tell Pharaoh sent me?
Who could I say sent me?
And he said, God said, tell them that I am. And I began to mess with that a little bit, and I said, he said, who do I tell this representing? I'm representing. Who's doing all this? Because if I tell them just straight out, God, I met the Lord in a bush. Might have been a George Bush or a Junior Bush.
The Lord in a bush.
Yeah, I met the Lord in a bush. He ain't gonna believe what I'm saying. And then the Lord said, I got one for you. He said, tell them that I am real. And I am real.
Yes.
Now, Moses did not as far as faith was concerned, he had to deal with it because he had a speech impediment. And so Joshua come in there, and the way the book is, and was a spokesman between, like a translator. Moses had
Yeah,
some problem.
interpreter for
He
Moses.
interpreted for,
Yes,
but
yes.
he said, what I'm going to do, now watch this, what I'm going to do before you go there, with this bush and this fire, I'm going to show you something that's going to overrule you trying to believe
Mm,
or
mm,
making out like you see. Pharaoh needs more than just you telling him. And this is the reason why, another reason why I'm saying it like this. He said, it's because I'm going to do some things through Pharaoh, and he ain't going to know that it's me doing it. He said, I'm going to make Pharaoh, when you get down, I'm going to tell you the whole story, Moses. You done met me in the bush. You killed a man while you was in Egypt. In Egypt.
mhm.
And you found out that you were a Hebrew Jew and all that stuff, whatever. But he said, you don't have to believe that you're a man, because he said, well, I'm going to show you what I am is.
Mm,
Now, I'm going to take you deep in this thing because you're going to want to see me face to face, and I'm going to pass by you from the backside. And your backside will prove that my presence is on the front side. But I'm going to send you down there to this man, and you know how he is because you live with him. You grew up with him.
mhm.
And you got to do more than just tell this man, the Lord God of Abraham sent me, and all them boys sent me to you to tell you to let my people go. He ain't going to pay you no attention. And the reason why he ain't going to pay you no attention is because I want to do things in this lifetime of yours and his to let you know that Pharaoh is just as much mine
Mhm.
as you are.
Well, he called,
Oh,
and the scriptures say that he was his
oh.
servant. Pharaoh was God's
Now,
servant.
here's my point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's my point.
That's good.
When Jesus was on the cross, we, all of us,
Yes, yes. Essence. Yes.
we ascended up on high, and we led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now, listen to this. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first?
Mhm.
Before he did anything, he left his body. Oh no, he didn't leave it. He took his body with him.
Mhm.
And when he went down into that part of the dark world, which is the subconscious part that starts from the heart down, he had to come to a place from the heart up in his higher self. He had to be so established that if he went through hell and I forgot to put his asbestos underwear on, when the flamethrower was coming around for the rest of them down there, it wouldn't burn him or us.
Yes.
That's why David said, if I make my bed in hell, he's there. If the flamethrower come around and he ain't protected by his true identity, whoop,
Well,
there we
listen.
go.
If it is true that God, as universal intelligence and the
Mhm.
source of everything that is, cannot create anything outside of itself,
Mhm.
then even that we call hell, if that it actually exists, would be still inside and as is God.
God delivered them from the darkness of the subconscious mind.
So there is no place that God is not.
Thank you. Now, you know what? When we started off in this thing 53 years, 54, whatever,
And our very substance is God.
that's right.
Yes. Yes. We got some great comments now.
Yeah,
I know
go
you're on
ahead.
a roll, so I don't want
Go
to
ahead.
stop you. But Vincent says he knows exactly what we're saying. God is already, and there is no getting to.
And it ain't nothing that's not unwritten, not ready.
Exactly. And Sinet says, so the idea of separation is an illusion. Since we are created by creation. Therefore, being creation, since creation is always creation.
I'm telling you, this stuff is real. He said, I'm going to do with you something when you get down there. This was already the essence. when Moses met God in that burning bush, he was meeting and joining up with he was made aware of his infinite divine same self that everybody is. We all were inside of Moses and the bush at the same time. When he went before Pharaoh, he said, I'm going to deliberately harden a part of Pharaoh's heart so that he won't.
That speaks to me.
Top
So
up,
we
gonna pop in a minute.
have we
Gonna pop.
no enemies.
That's right.
Even those that we think are our enemies
Here's to you,
are
kids.
simply servants of God that he may have hardened for our own evolution.
Somebody need to wake up. Come on out of the ignorance.
Boy.
Come on out of the ignorance. Because they talked about it in the book and in the course. Come on out of the ignorance.
Oh boy.
Is it possible that there's a lie all over the universe that we started out here?
That's the lie. That's the myth.
And that if we're going to get anything from God, we got to come correct.
We believed for years and for centuries that we can only get goodness from God if we meet certain conditions.
We jumping back and forth from oneness to separation, oneness to separation.
Yeah.
There comes a place in your awareness where you look at the whole thing jumping, but you don't move a step. There used to be an old guy long years ago. Some of the older people called him Stepping Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, he could cut a step.
Yeah.
Now listen. Let's go ahead on into this thing. Because some of us, reason why a lot of y'all can't sleep at night. I like that last night. Like that, yeah. You know why you like that? It's because you're pregnant. You have conceived this insight, and it won't let the dust settle until you finally realize that it's not by might nor by power, but it's by the eternal. The book say by his spirit, by the real self.
You made me think of something. How you get in an airplane when they're getting ready to take off. When they first take off, the speed, the velocity is so fast that it pushes you back in the seat. And you can't sit up straight. You push. There is such a pull. That vehicle is going so fast that it literally pins you to your seat. And that is how our evolution is pulling us. That's how fast we're going into our trueness. I want to say our trueness. That's how fast we're being pulled into our trueness.
Before I met this girl here, there's an old running buddy I run with, and we went to DC to see his girlfriend. Always missed me and him and two other guys, and he was taking care of her college expenses. But on the way back, we brought about 6 or 7 people back, and we was in an old '60 Chevrolet. Now, the guy's name was George, so they ain't talking about George Moore. So look around, and George got on a straight way down. And
most of your best friends were Georges.
Oh, them Georges are mess of children. I'm telling you the truth. So we went on down the highway, and George had a Chevrolet with a 30. Wait a minute.
A big motor.
and 348. But anyway, I saw that boy mash that gas, and we sat there in the back seat. That speedometer went all the way to 120, back around to 0, going back up to 10.
Ooh.
And it turned, and when it got so fast, the highway looked like a black streak.
It's like it disappeared.
It disappeared.
Yes. So this dream is disappearing because we are moving at such a velocity to our trueness that it is actually, the dream is becoming no more.
Now you talking about being slammed back in the back seat. I've been riding race cars. A guy had a souped up. But I used to have a Harley Davidson F-150 pickup truck Ford. When I take off coming out of the exit, me and her both would. It's got a supercharged on it. We would sink back in the seat. When they change gears, it would gradually let you up. That's the kind of example, esoteric meaning of the force of
That's the
God,
speed of
the
light
speed
that we're in.
we're
Yes,
moving.
the speed of light that
When
we're
I was
in.
in that heavenly highway in the sky, I took 3 steps and covered 1,000 miles and never moved my feet.
So now, a person who is not in that car
Oh,
going at
glory.
that speed
Mhm.
would see a complete concrete highway
That's
or
right.
asphalt highway. But in that speed of
Mhm.
going toward that destination
Mhm.
at that level of speed and
Mhm.
velocity, the highway disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this dream is gradually disappearing because we are moving at the speed of light.
We come in yesterday, you guys. I got to tell you this. I come in the garage, and 2 years ago, we had some work done on the ceiling of the garage. Didn't think nothing about it. I just come on in the door. We just left and went out the store and come back. I raised the garage door up so I could have it open to do my sewing. And the ceiling had dropped down on the
Oh
cable of
yeah.
the door, and I didn't see it. When I raised that door up, half.
Well, this is the thing. When you first got in there, I heard you using the drill and all of
Uh-huh.
this. I said, "What is he doing?" And I get in the garage, and he's up on the ladder trying to get this all of the
Yeah.
ceiling
Yeah.
off of the mechanism of the garage.
Yeah.
And so he was going to try to brace it so
Yeah.
that it would, he could at least get the
Well, we
garage
didn't tell
moving.
the ceiling fell out.
Yeah, it fell out. It
Half of the ceiling fell
was
out.
laying on the mechanism of the garage. And when I walked in, he was just about to do something to try to brace it. And when he did, the whole thing came down with us in there.
Yes. And that insulation I put up there was thick. It was over 2 feet, foot and a half thick, and all of
insulation
it come
everywhere.
down.
Insulation.
It was a mess. You talking about
and
a Jimmy Dean?
oh my
It was a Jimmy
gosh.
Dean mess. And
boards and insulation.
and she kind of panicked, and I
yes,
said, "Baby,
I did.
don't worry about it. I'll get something done." I ended up calling the emergency cleanup guys.
Yeah, we both did.
And
yeah,
we contacted them, and I cooled her lily just a little bit.
You didn't cool no lily.
Yeah, I cooled your
we
lily.
both cooled each other's
I
lily.
wasn't upset about it because I knew it had to be fixed, and I knew it had to be done.
He always acts like it doesn't bother me.
Well, I mean, it does, but I don't go off deep end. But anyway, we got him out here. He cleaned it up. And now we got to deal with the insurance people. I don't know whether they're going to take care of it or not because we've had that ceiling fixed before. And this is the second time. So now we're going to call them tomorrow. And the last time.
But your point was?
Yeah, my point was everything that happens in this world and anywhere else is to bring us to the awareness that God is in everything.
Yeah.
And it makes you go through it better if you can understand the whole story. Not just, no, you just don't jump over there. And I, in my mind, said, the devil is a lie. I don't want to hear that no more.
I don't either.
Don't want to hear that no more.
No, I don't want to hear that either.
The Lord didn't do that. I don't care who did it. I am not going to leave my identity, personality. No, I'm sorry. Person. No, I ain't going to say person.
But
my real self, just to appease a conditioned self.
True.
Thank you. I'll drink to
but
that.
Everything, and this is hard for the finite mind to accept, but everything is happening as it should happen. And we have been creatures made subject to vanity. And that's in the scriptures where it talks about being creatures made subject to vanity. But all of this is happening for the sons of God to come into their full potential.
You know what's amazing? Leslie, I will tell you something. We talked on the phone up there in Pittsburgh about your garage and that tree, and everything needs to be repaired. And you talked to us a few times before about this, and you want it fixed and all that stuff. You details. Here I come in the door, and the same thing you got to deal with up there, I got to deal with here. I said, now we must be cousins. You must be my mama, and I must be your uncle, or you are my pattern. And I declare unto you,
we're the same as
if Grant didn't run around Richmond, there we deal with the same thing. Ain't
Same
that a
thing.
hot dog?
Hmm.
Lettuce and tomatoes.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you. But now listen,
But you were reading a
Moses,
scripture, and
yeah,
what were you
Moses
going to say?
went before Pharaoh. And I believe that these things that take place is to establish us deeper
It is. It is.
into the no dying self
The no dying self.
and bring us to the point that reaches beyond faith into facts. He said, tell Pharaoh that I am have sent you.
Hmm.
And who I am, you tell him I ain't play. I am gonna put I ain't playing. I am real, and I'm going to show him. Now he might have magicians down there who can do some of what I'm going to do through you. But let me tell you something. I got a thing going on inside of y'all that Pharaoh don't know nothing about because he is the Judas back there in Egypt, and he don't understand the mystery of godliness in this whole thing back in that time. And everybody seemed to have this thing working in them that they got to see something. Well, I'm going to use everything in Pharaoh and in you to show him I don't take no wolf tickets. I don't take no no's and yeses. I'm too real to give out the idea that I'm scared and I ain't going to fulfill myself. And he said, Moses, you might have a speech impediment, but I'm going to use it.
And that's it. That is
Hallelujah.
that is the key.
Oh, glory.
We keep wanting to change what we are,
Oh, look out now.
when what we really need to do is accept what we are.
That's right.
And just be that, and stop looking at the different things about ourselves and labeling it as bad, or
Yeah.
labeling it as weak, or labeling it. Just be. We said this on Tuesday. How do we feel like we're coming full circle? It's like we started out as Christians, learning about Christianity and learning about this and the Bible and all of this stuff, and we come back and we come into non-duality, we come into pure oneness, and we come into this acceptance of who we are and who God is and where God is. And now we're coming all the way back to full circle, just full circle back to where we started, and realizing what we need to do now is just be and live.
You got one, Sinette. Love in all forms.
Mhm.
I like that, girl. I
Condition
love
to
it.
salvation is not unconditional,
Mhm.
and therefore does not make sense for a love being just love in all its forms.
Here's
Yes,
what he
ma'am.
did. He said, now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of our subconscious?
There you go.
What
There you go.
Jesus demonstrated in the
Mhm.
boat,
Mhm.
laying down in the hinder part of the boat,
Mhm.
sleep, taking a nap, when them boys up there on the surface of the water was battling a storm.
Mhm.
Didn't the storm didn't wake him up to go up there to stop it? What woke him up was his identity was not disturbed by the storm, and he had to come up there on top to show them how to deal with it in an eternal resting place, even though the storm was there.
Disturbance didn't bring him up from the bottom of the
That's what
ship.
I'm talking about.
Love brought him up from the
He
bottom of
came
the
up
ship.
out of the deep,
Mhm.
deep, dark places of the subconscious, the same place he went to down in the earth
So
to set the captive free.
So that tells me God responds not based on being disturbed by what we're disturbed with. God responds because he loves us.
You know, we wouldn't have talked like this when we started. It's just amazing. I wouldn't say these things back yonder if anybody said it. I'd be ready to deliver them, cast
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and go away and practically churchology cuss them out because they say this and it ain't in the word. I tell you what, if the word, that energy power that they talk about, what they call it, Kundalini.
Mm-hmm.
If the word Kundalini was in the Bible and they replaced the word
They would
power and
accept
spirit,
it.
they would accept it.
Yeah.
When you look in your Bible, you don't see anything in there about bush beans. No, you don't. Especially when you're having a barbecue, you got that sauce on them bush beans.
And now, why did you say
And
that?
wait, hold on. When you go to the store, do you take your dog in the store with you to make sure it amplifies the commercial on television where bush bean dog tell him that the bush bean, a dog have to tell the man how powerful bush beans is? Do you think you go in there, you don't find anything in the Bible about bush beans? You don't Van Camp pork and beans. You don't see them in there. You don't see anything in there about a car having a flat tire. Not even a train having a flat tire. You don't see anything in there. But when you go in there, some of you take a list and some of you don't. When they pick up half what you want, they go back again. You don't see anything in there about the prices going up until you look at them.
And your point?
My point is, there are a lot of things that God is doing and showing us that is truth, that has no reference to natural things at all.
At all. Exactly.
And there's some of us.
And there, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
There's some of us would take the knife, the dagger, and stab us and say God told them to do it.
Right. But they are servants.
They are servants.
They're God's servants.
I like that.
They're doing what they're doing.
I'm going to say this to you guys. I'm going to say it like this. Some of y'all don't understand the abortion law and the passing of it. I found out that some of y'all, I'm trying to fix it up as I said.
Yeah, and be careful because you could get into political things.
I know I ain't getting political. Some of us have said that all homosexuals going to hell. Now watch this. I've discovered, and I'm not patting them on the back. I don't want them to come around patting me on the butt. When you get to the place where those homosexuals don't cause you to leave your position and your identity, and you come to the place where you can love them as the eternal essence of God. If I had time, I could tell you why they come in the world like that and why we are actually have problem with them. But I have been around them, and some of them are more precious in their attitude than church people are. I don't go for it. Please understand me.
I think they know that.
But we have had, when we had the most expensive building in Greensboro, North Carolina, we had some of them to come in, the preacher of the community of homosexuals come in and ask me, did we have any space that he could rent? I told him at a certain time, yeah. Now I told him, I said, I knew that the people in our congregation wasn't going to like it. But I understood the heart of God in them, and I looked past that. I told him, I said, we will let you have the space, but I don't want to come in this building and catch somebody hung up in a corner making love to another man or another woman. And I definitely don't want to come in the door and somebody standing beside the door and pat me on my butt. But I said, I am going to let you have it. I said, I know that some people in the church won't like it. I did it anyway. Wasn't a thing in the world wrong with it. We blessed them, they helped us, and they were most respectful to it. Now, you have to understand that. You got to go a long way. Here's another one I'm going to tell you. God is in, and he was in our life. We had a daughter that was in foster care that came to us. She got away and married, and she conceived twins. My baby girl, this baby we stayed with us. She married and she got pregnant with twins, and these twins beat her tonsils for 9 months. Is that right?
Not
9 months.
No. She was in the hospital because she couldn't carry.
Yeah, but all the way through
for several
pregnancy.
months. For several months, not all the way through.
Okay.
No.
But while she's there, please help me with this, baby. My point is that The doctor said that she would not be able to have those children. If she did, it would kill her.
Mhm.
Sent her to abortion clinic. The abortion clinic didn't want to do anything to help her.
Well, they did, but
But they
people
did. But
outside
they did.
outside didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did. Now, what are you going to do in these cases that our country is fighting against in this abortion thing? Hold on, abortion. There's some cases in there that are real serious. I know a pastor that we know very well said that some of the preachers behind closed doors, daughters got pregnant, and they didn't want the congregation to know about it and brought them to him to get help with this situation. And yet they go back in front of the congregation and lie to them by their presence and the way they talk against abortion, and yet they're getting ready to have it done to their daughter. My point is this: if something supernatural don't happen to the unliberated mind, if something about the ignorance that we face when we come into this dimension is something that's not done down in the deep recesses of the underworld of your soul essence, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. And I'm not trying to get you to understand, but I'm just giving you, pointing the finger at the direction. This girl came to us and we didn't know what to tell her, but we loved her anyway. I made a lot of mistakes with some of the young people in our church about how we supposed to walk in holiness, and heard a bunch of them. And I used to be like this. I wouldn't let any of them get on my praise team or play an instrument if they wasn't saved. And because I was telling them that they would project, they miss out in the sound of music. I understand that. But I woke up. We both woke up to the love of God that reaches beyond understanding. Understand. Hey, look.
It reaches beyond
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
trying to keep things. I think it was born. What we did was born out of a sincere desire to keep the church uncontaminated, and in the process of that, we became very legalistic
Yeah.
and very judgmental. And that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
We dropped the judgments, we dropped the legalism. And that's when there was a great exodus from our congregation, because a lot of people who were in that circle, in that Christian circle, they still wanted that legalism and that dogma, because that the overall philosophy is, if you don't stand up for something, you're compromising, and that's what
now what I'm reading to you now. It's also in the Course of Miracles, and this is it. Those that cannot see beyond the physical and the dark side, it said, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in their false identity, because of the blindness of their heart. There's a part of the heart that's blind, but then there's another side of the heart that's connected to the pure essence of God.
Yeah.
These people are asleep. Now, let me tell you something. Some of these people came into your life, watch it, I'm going to say it now, the word the hell out of you, because God knows that you need to come in contact with somebody that ain't got no sense and stay there in that unsenseless realm, just for you to find out how God loved them unconditionally. Let me tell you something else. We done found out that in this, if he descended into the underworld of darkness of the subconscious, in that boat he was on, he come up out of the subconscious to the conscious mind and spoke to the sea, the ocean, the water, and the storm, and it cooled off. These people that come into your life that seem like they're troubled don't take but a second for what's in them that's in you. That's hard for some people to believe. You didn't find it in the book. You didn't read it in the course. You didn't read it on the map. That's okay. Love does not have to have knowledge of being them in order for them to exist. I know what it's like to operate out of the forgiveness of God now. It took some time to do it, but I want to see Christ. I want to see the eternal self treating everybody the same. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a lady one time I told you about when we was living in the mobile home, and I got in my little '74 Vega and going down the street. I think I might have been going to work. I'm not sure. But this lady was a prostitute over in that area, and she come down beside me. She said, "Mr. Sawyer, maybe Reverend Sawyer, whatever, give me a ride." I said, "No." I said, "I can't do that right now." And while I was sitting there, and I stopped, and I ain't never had no woman do this to me. My window was down and the door was shut. And a little bit was, do you know that long, tall Sally stepped back in the alley, came to my car, and didn't open the door, stepped in through the window.
Mm.
I told her, I told the white man, I said, "What in the ham sandwich with a bad onion on it? What in the world is going on?" I said, "Baby," I said, "I don't play that. Don't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't play that." She done stepped her foot in there and got in the car and sat down. Now take me down here.
Yeah.
I didn't understand then how to deal with it. Here's another one. I had two married couples, but married to each other at first, opposite, and both of them were sitting behind each other's wife or husband in my church. My assistant pastor during that time, we went back in the back. He said, "Reverend, what we gonna do about this?" I said, "What is it?" He said, "There's two couples out there was married to each other's opposite. We got to do something about this." I said, "I don't know what to do."
But that was the mindset we had,
Yeah,
is to do something about
yeah.
everything that we saw.
And when we
Yeah.
moved, we had another case like that. Honey, I decided to love the hell out of everybody.
Yeah,
If
well,
I
and
love them
that's
with the love of
yeah.
Jesus, I asked the Lord one time, I
And
said,
it's
yeah,
more than
yeah,
loving.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
It's actually accepting.
Lord Jesus.
There is no them and
That's right.
us and them. There is an actual acceptance. It's not that I'm going to look at them and I say they really good people. No, they are us.
When
They
I
are us.
I used to go at my grandmother's house out in Yakinville, and when I got out there, they didn't have running water in their house. But there's a well that's sit next to the house there. And when everybody wanted to drink of water, all of us meet out there, cousins and all that, we go to that well and that bucket
That little dipper.
and that dipper.
Mm-hmm.
They took that dipper, that well, and that bucket. They dropped that bucket all the way down in the well. I mean, it went completely to the, you go bloop,
Yeah.
and they fill it up. They wind that handle back up and bring that water up, and up come the water. Didn't have a one dipper. And I looked at everybody, and they started all drinking out of the same bucket, the same dipper. There are some things I learned from the evangelical and the charismatic church about how to drop your tongue down into the bucket, the deep part of the bucket, down into the well of eternalness. That's what we're talking about now. In the depths of your essence, I reached down into that bucket and I drunk some of that water. That's a funny feeling that come over you. Now we wouldn't think about HIV, ABC, or DCEFG. We just took that, and that water was cool waters,
Yeah.
living water. That was the coolest. Didn't have no ice or nothing, just the old dipper. Some people took the water out the top and shaked it out in the dipper and throwed it out and took their drink. That is, I hope that well is still out there. You talking about feeling, that's the way we were back in the old days. Now, what we're talking about today,
What are you talking about?
we're talking
today?
about all these examples to get you to understand or get some of you to already know the clearness of God. There is a place where you must come to awareness, and you will if you haven't already. Your moving in and with God has got to be more than just a fashion show. It's got to be more than a baptism in water. It's got to be more than a praying in tongues. It's got to be more than a teaching or a preaching. It got to be more than you screaming and hollering. It's got to be more than a vision or dream. It's got to be more than an out of body experience. It's got to be more than a near death experience. You must come to the place where you understand I am, meaning you are, he is real to Pharaoh. Your Pharaoh is everything that you got to face tomorrow and today. Your Pharaoh is your Judas is everything you have to face that your mind don't want to let go of.
Mm.
And some people ask the question, how do I do the mind is how do you stop the mind? How do you get the mind? You'll get to the place like in my hearing. I don't hear out of my left ear. It's been my right ear any moment allowed to move my head and it get full of like a water, like somebody put a bucket of water in it, and I can't hear and I'm talking to myself. But this morning I'm doing better. I'm doing much better. And you I ain't had to turn my head over like this for the water, run out the other side. The doctor looked in my ears one time and he took that little light and looked in there. I took my hand on the other side like this and I popped my finger. I said, "Can you see the hand over there? Did it go straight through?" He said, "Man, you don't know what you're doing." So anyway, I want you guys to see, and you do. You do.
You're saying a whole lot.
I know it. I'm sorry, baby. I know we don't have much time, but I'll be trying to get all of eternity out.
What do you actually want to say
I'm
to
actually
them?
saying how real God was to Pharaoh is how real he must be to you, to the degree that you enter into rest and you come to the place where you don't feel obligated to do anything but just love, and let the openings of these scars that have happened to your soul, let these openings in your soul and the hurt and the pain become an asset and not a liability. That's what we're talking about now.
Mm.
And I want this to happen like this. I want it to be like this. And I'm gonna tell you something else that happens as you wake up. I'm beginning to sense once in a while the presence of light beings and angels standing and watching and looking.
Mm.
I'm beginning to notice more of loved ones on the other side who are helping and assisting a lot of us over here. It don't have to be, but that's just a part of the fascinating, exciting world of waking up. Waking up involves more than just understanding scripture. Waking up means you understand the whole thing, and it's no end.
It has nothing to do with
No,
understanding
it,
scriptures.
it is so real that you find out that a lot of things you were used to doing, you don't have to do it no more.
I think that we have made waking up and enlightenment, all of that, we have made it like a special event. It is not a special event. Uh, it is you as life completely living, not living, not being something different than you are, and being okay with what you are. I heard another teacher yesterday say, letting go of trying to become is dropping expectations. Drop all expectations. Um, and then when you drop the expectations of things being different, there is a relaxing that comes on you. There's a peace that comes to you, that you begin to enter into, because you're not trying to change things constantly. And that tension inside yourself of trying to constantly change something about yourself or about your situation, that is suffering. That is suffering. That constantly trying to be different, trying to become a different kind of person. All of that is suffering.
So that I like that what you said, the unique experience.
Mhm.
of love. It is
Expression.
unique.
She says the feeling of specialness often sneaks up on you.
Yes.
And that's different from a unique expression
Yeah.
of love.
But
Yes.
I like the last part. Unique expression of the love that we are. We don't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm telling you, this is really, really good. I mean, sit down at the table and eat your filet mignon. I mean, sit down on your prime rib and just sit there and just enjoy. Don't have to have no. You know what? You know when you remember when we came along when.
Can you slow down?
Yeah, I know. I got.
Can you please just slow down for a minute? Just slow down. Take a breath.
Sean
Take a
Robeson
breath.
said this. He look what she put up there. He said, she
She
said, I
heard
heard Rupert Spira say we are enlightenment and we do not have to seek after it.
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Hallelujah.
We should not seek after it.
Sean, you're part of our congregation, honey. You remember when we all started out? You've been in this for a while. We struggled so much to try to line up with God, and we try to fix things so we can get up in the morning and everything work like we wanted to, and we struggle so hard to
Mhm.
read the scriptures
Yeah.
and read the
Yeah.
book. I got thousands of books here in this house. I don't even hardly touch them anymore, but they're just there to fill up the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we leave this body, we are the breath of God. We are the breath, the length, the depth, and the height of God.
Yes, we are. I want to say this too, that I want to read to you in a minute how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Some of you may already know it, but I wanted to use this illustration because I think it's the same thing that's happening to all of us. There is inside each one of us, or and I won't say inside because there's the inside and the outside is the same thing,
Oh,
but there
yeah.
is each one of us the spark of God, the memory of God that's just waiting to be activated, just waiting to be activated. And then the memory comes back to God, and God realizes who it is. Not I realize who I am, but God realizes who it is in this form. So there is inside of a caterpillar what they call imaginal cells.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Near the caterpillar's end, they eat ravenously.
Mm-hmm.
They eat so much that
Mm-hmm.
their body becomes heavy
Mm-hmm.
and they outgrow their skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so they become so bloated that what they do, they can't move. So they're attached to a branch
Mm-hmm.
upside down and with their head hanging down. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens, everything turns in on its head. It just, everything becomes there. And then a chrysalis or a shell, a cocoon is formed around it because they can't move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
And the imaginal cells then begin to vibrate. They vibrate to a different frequency, which is the
Mm-hmm.
frequency of a butterfly.
Yes.
And those imaginal cells were already present in the caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different frequency than the caterpillar. So their immune system thinks they're enemies
Mm-hmm.
and eats them. And they keep appearing, they won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Then the imaginal cells begin to clump together in groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then they resonate at the same frequency. And at some point, they form a long string, something totally different than a caterpillar
Mm-hmm.
that realizes it's not a caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it's a butterfly.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's a revelation.
So it's all happening inside of us. Consciousness is doing what it's supposed to do. Consciousness is bringing to and presenting what is supposed to be presented to you in your life. Consciousness is taking you through situations that you're supposed to be taken through, even situations that feel threatening, even situations that feel negative, even situations that you feel helpless in. Those situations and those environments are bringing you to the place of being something totally different than you ever have been without you doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's life being.
Here's what I saw when he said life being. I look back over this thing of childbirth. We looked at our bodies and our suits
Mm-hmm.
before we got into it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what the new birth experience is like and really was trying to say being born again.
Yes. Yes.
How many children are being born right now? Again and again and again. All
Yes.
right, let's go esoteric on this thing, go deep. How many essence, how many times Christ is experiencing being born again over and over again?
Yes.
How many,
Yes.
how many of them are being born again? How many of God, how many sections of God that's the essence in these bodies been born over and over again? Now I understand in the third chapter of St.
Mm-hmm.
John what Nicodemus said. How can me being old as I am enter into the womb a second time? You don't. You came out, you never go back. Everybody is the God self being born again and again and again. And it reaches the new birth experience is beyond a spiritual experience that the church defines it as you got the Holy Ghost. We are the Holy Spirit inside the essence, as the essence, being born again 50 million times. How many babies in the hospital been born again, born again? So the new birth experience is more than having the heat and the flash and the shouting. It is the fact that God is the essence in everybody, whether they know Jesus or not, the way we do. He has been born again right now in somebody's stomach.
Yes. Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
You know
Now, what are
what?
you looking at up there? What's up there?
Yeah, I just I focus when I do that. There's somebody up there talking
You
to
go
me.
into your own little world.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah,
we're over an hour, and we
yeah.
thank you guys for
Let me say it.
what? Huh?
Brother James and Miss Kelly. My ears stopped up.
Go ahead.
Brother James, Miss Kelly, the love that we are in Jesus Christ, the love that we are in everybody. I'm using everybody's love, and I'll tell our class this morning. Our love to you and Brother James has never changed and will never will change. You are welcome into this house that you never left. And I want you to understand that. I'm going to say this to all of you. Come on in the house. Let's lay
Yeah.
aside differences and opinions. Let's have fun. This is the happy time for the Christ in us to meet each other. I go to the grocery store now. I look for Jesus. I look for Christ. I meet so many hymns. Now we're ready. Let's go on into this thing. And my wife won't say some more to you, Miss
Yeah,
Leslie.
just wanted to mention that it's this time to give, and I wanted to thank you guys for supporting us and supporting Cornerstone. And if you want to do that today, or not if you want to, I know you do want to, and you can do that by going to the website. That's thecornerstonelifecenter.com, and hit the donate button, and it's
Yes.
right there. It's easy for you. And then, or you can text CLC Greensboro to 73256, and it'll come directly into the church's account. Or you can do paypal.me/cornerstone35, and that goes directly into the church's account. And or you can mail it to P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. To bless Pastor and myself, do Cash App $A Sawyer C, or paypal.me/ACE Sawyer 72. And that way we'll get it directly. If you send it to Cornerstone, we won't get it. But if you want to bless us personally, do the Cash App or PayPal for us.
We don't know now whether the insurance is going to accept our claim or not, but it's going to take a couple, maybe $8,000, whatever it is, to fix that ceiling. But either way we go, it's going to be okay. And if you can help us with it financially, this is still the house of God, just like it was in that church building, brick and mortar. And we thank you.
This is Angel. Hey, Angel.
Angel.
Angel is the one that was helping you in the hospital when you had your last shoulder surgery.
Which one, baby? I can't see
Angel.
it.
This is the one I clicked
Oh,
on.
that's
honey.
Angel.
That's Angel.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was. Is this well, you were there when I went in for the bariatric, and then I was there again for my shoulder replacement,
Not bariatric.
but the shoulder replacement.
The last one.
The,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
the
think
right
this
shoulder.
I think that's
I
Angel. Let me know if that's who
There
you
were
are,
7 of
sweetheart.
you guys came in the room.
Let me know if that's who you are. I think that's who you are. So
Yeah.
let me know, sweetheart.
What a reward and a blessing to see your name and all of you that are tuning into us. If I could get physically close to you, I'd give you a big hug.
We want you to have a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and we will be back again on Tuesday at 7. And we look forward to seeing you there with us. And if you've got anything you'd like to ask, questions or comments, feel free to do that. That helps us to stay focused as to what we're saying. So we appreciate your questions and your comments. And we really appreciate all you guys who come from other countries. Sinette and today, Tanita was in Mexico. So we thank you guys for joining us.
If we've been in brick and mortar, we wouldn't have way to talk to these people, would we?
Exactly. And I know we've got some secret disciples out there who never comment.
There you go.
But I would like for you to bless us if you can. Go ahead and support the ministry. You support this ministry, and it helps us to keep things going.
And we'll go as far as we can with this thing. We're going the distance with it, okay? So you guys stay with us for the might of God, the ability to set out and complete and finish this thing, okay? And that finish is an eternal, no-ending finish.
So that is Angel. Thank you, darling. I thought that's who you were. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. We appreciate you joining us. And she became a subscriber on YouTube. And you guys who haven't subscribed on YouTube and you're watching us, please do that right now and hit the like button. And what else I need to hit the like button so that you'll be and the notification button so that you can get a notice of our videos. And if you do that, then that pushes us up in the algorithm so that the people who are looking for spiritual content will find us and we'll be at the top of the list. You
guys are helping us to see what it's like to be established in love.
Yes. So again, we'll see you on Tuesday at 7. We're going to take off now. Bye-bye.
See you next time.